What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus package update, stimulus check update, daily news, everything going on here in our country, in Washington, D.C., everything you need to know about on a daily basis with our economy, money, investing, the stock market. Remember that new videos come out here on our YouTube channel at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. It's completely free to do so. And if you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. Also, in yesterday's video, we revealed the winners of our $2,000 giveaway. Congratulations to the winners, and we're going to be doing another giveaway in January. So make sure to stay tuned for that in our What's in the Box contest. I'll link you to that video here at the end of this video. There's a lot going on here. Check this out. Let's start with this story. You're not going to believe this. It's already starting in Israel. Israel will administer a fourth COVID shot. That's right. Israel is the first country here in the world to administer a fourth shot, a fourth booster shot. That's right. You're reading it right here on the screen from Bloomberg.com to people over 60 years old. Is this a sign of something coming here in the future to the U.S. as well? You can let me know your thoughts here in the future. You can also see it here from CNN.com. Israel begins fourth COVID-19 dose vaccine rollout for people 60 and over as Omicron cases surge. Yeah. They say that this recommendation was a, quote, calculated risk, medical experts are saying, from their country. Their country has hundreds of confirmed and suspected Omicron cases. Israel will administer a fourth dose of the virus vaccine to people over the age 60 and to medical personnel as well, becoming the first nation in the world to do so on such a widespread basis as the Omicron variant barrels across the world. Quote, the citizens of Israel were the first to get the third vaccine, and we are continuing to lead with the fourth vaccine now, said Israel Prime Minister Bennett said in a statement late on Tuesday. He's ordering authorities to prepare for a nationwide inoculation drive. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know your feelings on this. Israel led the world in getting the third shot and now the fourth shot. Do you think this will come to the U.S. and to other countries in the world sometime in 2022? Do you think this will be a yearly thing similar to the flu shots? If you get flu shots, you get them once a year. Do you think that will happen with this virus? Do you think that will be something that will be optional here in the future? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Here's what Dr. Fauci has to say about holiday gatherings. Check this out.
Now, one of the questions that Dr. Walensky and I and Dr. Murthy and others get asked very frequently is that right now, as we get to the Christmas holiday and the New Year's, would it be safe for individuals who are vaccinated, who are boosted, to get together with family in the setting of the home? The answer to that is yes. An extra level of protection would be the testing that Dr. Walensky measured. But I want to make sure this is not confused with going to a large gathering. And there are many of these parties that have 30, 40, 50 people in which you do not know the vaccination status of individuals. Those are the kind of functions in the context of COVID, and particularly in the context of Omicron, that you do not want to go to. So to the extent possible, we urge you to stay away from those situations that could put you at a higher risk.
So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with this, or do you think no? You think you should just go? And he did kind of say it's safe to Gather with family in small settings, but not for large gatherings. So I know probably a lot of people feel differently about this. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Republican lawmaker Tom Cole has opened the door to potential stimulus bill as well to fund for to combat the Omicron and to combat the virus. This is exactly how Stimulus Package 1, Stimulus Package 2 started, bipartisan Republicans and Democrats to combat the virus and to combat the pandemic. Republican Representative Tom Cole, a Republican from Oklahoma, said Wednesday that Congress may move on legislation early next year to provide more resources to tackle the rising number of virus cases amid the spread of the Omicron variant. In an interview with Bloomberg's Sound On podcast, reporter Jack Fitzpatrick asked Cole whether Congress would respond to the increasing case count in a bipartisan manner. Cole said, quote, "My guess is yes." Cole, who is the ranking member for the U.S. House Appropriations Subcommittee on Labor, Health and Human Services, Education, and Related Agency, added that he had spoken with Health and Human Services Secretary Javier Becerra about taking action early in the new year, and says, quote, "I think if you actually look at what's happening, that's probably, spot on, if anything. So yeah, I think so. It ought to be bipartisan," which means Republicans and Democrats. And remember, they really only need 10 Republicans in the Senate to pass anything bipartisan. They don't even need any Republicans in the House to pass anything. They only need 10 Republicans in the Senate. Pretty interesting here. Cole noted that the Democrats passed the last COVID relief stimulus package, which included $1.9 trillion in spending on their own. Cole's comment comes as the U.S. sees a surge of new cases amid the spread of the Omicron variant, which now makes up a large majority of new cases. This also just comes as a new report came out just yesterday that federal pandemic aid from stimulus programs is running dry, has run dry, as businesses and people deal with the Omicron impact. And a lot of people, are not going out to restaurants as much, not traveling as much. It's affecting the entire economy because, well, I mean, we're dealing with this new virus wave, and it's spreading a lot more rapidly, and well, people are taking precautions a lot more. So it hits everybody. As you can see here, Congress has committed nearly $6 trillion since early 2020, since back from former President Donald Trump, to fight the pandemic and cushion the economic blow from a once in a century pandemic. The vast majority of those emergency funds have already been spent on everything from lifelines to small businesses and stimulus checks to bail out for airlines. And there is no money left to rescue restaurants. And most of the efforts to save small businesses have either expired or will soon. The rapid spread of Omicron will test the durability of the economic recovery and is already raising questions about whether Washington will need to come to the rescue again. Moody's analytic chief economist Mark Zandi said another round of more stimulus fiscal relief may be premature. He says, quote, "But lawmakers should be prepared to act quickly of the Omicron wave if it begins to undermine the economic recovery," which it very well may already be doing. But it's clear the risks to the recovery have been increased in recent days due to the spike of new virus cases around the nation, and the growth outlook has been dimmed further by the apparent demise of the Build Back Better bill, at least in its current iteration, until they make some changes to maybe appease Senator Joe Manchin. And 86% of stimulus funds have been dispersed now, which makes the need for more of this uh, apparently needed quickly, and stimulus checks needed as well. It's been a while, so of course we know a lot of people are in need of this pandemic and need for more stimulus checks. Now, child tax credits have been expired, and a lot of people are still hurting. I mean, and the virus is not going away. In fact, it's getting worse. Over the course of the Biden and Trump administrations, Congress authorized a staggering $5.7 trillion in emergency stimulus aid, according to a tally for the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget. But roughly 4.9 trillion or 86% of those funds have either been dispersed or committed, which means that there's, by this math, $800 billion potentially still available somewhere. I had seen a recent report that there was 500 billion, but between this math right here on the screen, there's potentially $800 billion. If you look at this 5.7 trillion and this number that 4.9 trillion has been spent, there's maybe $800 billion still left over between all these different funds sitting somewhere available. Yeah, you can also see here, for example, the federal government sent out $815 billion in stimulus checks to families through the 3 rounds. No further stimulus checks have been authorized yet. That's why we have all these petitions and different groups pushing for a fourth stimulus checks. We do know that we have multiple different states, cities, and counties issuing stimulus checks as well, as I've been kind of covering here on the show as well. And the White House isn't ruling out more help. The Biden administration isn't shutting the door to the idea that further emergency aid from Congress could be needed. Quote, we will continue to closely monitor the economic recovery and follow closely whether future developments would require some targeted resources, the White House official told CNN on Tuesday. Also, when asked about pleas for aid for the restaurant industry, the official pledged to work with Congress on how best to support small business owners, including restaurants, going forward. And while this will be a real test for the economy, all this is subject to change depending on what happens with COVID, which is really, really bad right now. There also may be a reassessment with the withdrawal of stimulus, including at the Fed. The Fed may be forced to wait a little longer on its first interest rate hike, which is expected to happen here in 2022. They're supposed to have multiple interest rate hikes here in 2022. That's if the economy is expected to get better here. This is supposed to help curb inflation, but stocks have been very, very shaky here. We've had multiple days here. We've had a couple days. We've had some up days. We've had some down days, but the down days have been very, very bad. We've had days where the Dow Jones index have been down by over 500 points each day. And then we've had some buy the dip days where stock investors and crypto investors have been coming in to buy the dips. But the down days, we've had down days of 500, down 700 points, and which is not a good sign for the stock market. And it's been very, very shaky ground here lately. And as you just seen here, the Fed may have to delay their interest rate hikes, which is it's good for like credit card interest rates. And if you're looking to buy a car or refinance your home loans, by the way, home loans are at an all-time low right now. If you haven't refinanced your home mortgage, if you own a home and you haven't refinanced in the last couple years, you definitely need to look into that. You can literally save thousands and thousands of dollars on your mortgage. They actually have like low cost closing rates or even zero cost mortgage, zero cost closing rates, I should say, where they will just bump your rate a little bit and not charge you any closing rates. or closing costs and just bump your rate a little bit, or even low cost closing rates where they'll only charge you maybe like a couple $100. They can even just put that into your loan and not really charge you anything at cost. But you can save thousands of dollars per year, and over the course of 10 years, you can come out of there saving tens of thousands of dollars, um, just by saving like 1 percentage point. If you go from something like 4% to 3%, or from 5% to 4%, or something like that. And I'm not even suggesting to you guys a specific company. You can just Google it. I'm not sponsored here or anything like that. It's just friendly advice for you, because mortgage rates are at like a 20-year, 30-year all-time low. So if you own a home, look to refinance, because you can literally save tens of thousands of dollars. No joke, guys. No joke. We might never see interest rates this low ever again. Um, if you haven't refinanced in many, many years, do it. Do it, do it, do it. And of course, shop around a little bit. Just go on Google, do some interest rate searches, call a couple local banks, anything like that. But if you haven't refinanced in 2 to 5 years, you definitely want to do that. You definitely want to do that. Now, just a quick little kind of thing on that. Now, if you've been in a 30-year mortgage and you've paid it off for 10 years, you can get a 20-year mortgage. You don't have to redo on a 30-year mortgage, okay? You can redo at a 30-year mortgage. Your payment will be lower, but then you'll still be paying for 30 years, okay? But your payment will be significantly lower if you want to cut cut costs, cut your monthly payment, but then you're going to be paying for 10 years more, and you're going to extend your loan and extend your payments. You know what I'm saying? But your monthly payment will be a lot lower, but you'll be extending that payment out for 10 years. So there's a trade-off there. But if you only have, say, 20 years left on your mortgage, you can get a 20-year mortgage. If you only have 15 years left on your mortgage, you can get a 15-year mortgage. If you only have 10 years left on your mortgage, you can get a 10-year mortgage. Okay, they have all those different terms nowadays. Okay, so keep that in mind. A lot of people say, I don't want to get a new mortgage. I only have 10 years left on my mortgage. You can get a 10-year mortgage. Okay, and you can go from a 5% rate to a 3% rate, and for that 10 years that's left on your mortgage, you can save probably $25,000 in interest. No joke. You can just Google mortgage calculator, and right on Google you can just put in the amount you owe left on your home, and you can put in your current interest rate, and then you can put in what your old interest rate is, and then just figure out what the current interest rates are, just by checking a couple current mortgage rates, and just put in what the new interest rate is, and just figure out how much you'll save over the course of your loan. Just Google mortgage calculator, and it'll do the math for you. And then you can thank me later. You're like, wow, Jimmy, I'm going to save $10,000. I'm going to save $20,000. I'm going to save $50,000. And these are like legit numbers. This is how much you'll save over the course of 10 or 20 years. No joke. That's how much 1% or 2% can actually save you that much money. Compound interest is like it's like a natural wonder of the world. It's the greatest thing ever. And compound interest is how credit card companies actually make an enormous amount of money off you. Okay, credit card interest is like the your worst nightmare. It's the worst thing you ever want to pay for. Just a little bit of kind of financial advice here, if you will. Credit card interest is like the worst thing. If you ever talk to a financial planner, it's like basically kind of like driving down the street and putting your money out the window, out, and just letting it go. If you ever want to do anything to better your financial situation, the first thing you want to do is pay off credit card debt. Because when you're paying 10% interest, 15% interest, 20% interest, anything along those lines, it's just unbelievably expensive. It's basically the reverse of investing. It's like a guaranteed 10%, 20% return when you pay off something like that. Very, very, very detrimental to your finances. So if you ever want to do anything, the best thing you can ever do is pay off credit card debt, because if it's 10%, which is kind of low for credit card debt, um, it's like a guaranteed 10% return, which is like if you could get that on the stock market. Our stock market's been crazy for the last year. The S&P 500 is somewhere around like 35% over the last year. I haven't calculated it recently, but like a month ago it was, which is unbelievable. You don't get that all the time, right? But if somebody could say, I'll guarantee you a 10% return, guaranteed, every investor would take it, right? It's just guaranteed. But a lot of credit cards are 20%. And I think the highest that they can legally charge is 29.99. That's what it used to be. But yeah, if you ever want financial advice, you go to a financial planner. The first thing they're going to do is tell you, get an emergency fund and pay off your credit card debt. You know, that those are the first couple things you want to do, because credit card interest is just really, really high, and it's just it just burns your money. Yeah, so just a little bit of kind of financial advice there. So that's kind of how you better off your finances there. So, and that's how the credit card companies get rich off people, because you know, people go and they'll buy $1,000 iPhone or $1,000 anything, $1,000 worth of groceries, anything, right? And they'll take $1,000 and then not pay it off, and they pay interest on it over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and that $1,000 ends up costing them $2,000. Doesn't matter what the $1,000 was. It could be an iPhone, or it could be food, or it could be anything. But when you pay interest on it month after month after month after month after month, it ends up costing them $2,000. Where if you pay off your credit card debt eventually, now you're not paying that interest anymore. Even if you just have it in a bank account, it's just you're saving all that interest. And eventually, if you start investing it, now you're making that money for yourself instead of paying it to a credit card company. And that's how the rich get rich, and the credit card companies get rich. It's kind of a little but investing 101 there. So let me know your thoughts. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country with this next stimulus package and everything you need to know about. So make sure to subscribe down below. New videos come out here on our channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll see what happens here with these multiple different stimulus packages and executive orders that they're now calling for. So click here to watch my video from yesterday where we announced the $2,000 giveaway. And my wife is here at the end of the video announcing the winners. Very, very good video. So click on that video next to watch that. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.